Welcome to the Art of Doing. Dive into Android development with Kotlin. I'm a self-learner. I know what it's like to try to teach yourself a subject and be left following code someone else wrote, but not fully understanding what you've done. I've gone through various tutorials, constantly asking myself, what does this line mean? Why did they do that here? How does this actually work? And it's those frustrations that helped motivate me to create this course. If you've ever found yourself confused, lost, or frustrated when following complicated Android Studio guides, not fully understanding what was going on, then this course is for you. While I may be a self-taught programmer, I'm a master teacher with a depth of experience in education. I know how to teach, how to relate high-level concepts at a fundamental level, and I know what makes knowledge stick. I know how important it is to not just introduce knowledge, but also to provide context for that knowledge to grow. I've worked very hard to explain in every detail from the absolutely beginning concepts and ideas. Then I took time to put those ideas into use by building applications. You're going to learn and then apply. This is where knowledge begins to grow. Let's take a look at some of the concepts we'll be covering. We'll start by getting Android Studio installed and running on your machine. I'll show you how to use virtual emulators and physical devices to test and run your apps, and we'll make sure that you're set to jump right in. Rather than moving quickly into building apps, we'll then take some time to explore what Android Studio creates for us when we open a project, and it actually creates quite a lot. This is a big selling point of the course, in my opinion. A lot of resources don't take the time to explain what is happening in these provided files, which leads to a lot of confusion later on. Again, my number one goal is to minimize any frustration in the learning process and answer your questions before you have them. Once we have a firm understanding of what's going on in these files, what they do, and the file structure that's provided for us here, we'll move into creating 4 applications together, which will implement the knowledge that we've learned up to that point. Let's take a quick look at some of these apps. We'll start with a nice motivational message app called Motivate Me, where a user can type in their name and get a personalized message. If we click update, hello Mike, never give up. If I click my button again without a name, it will prompt me to enter in a name. So we'll put in a different name. We'll say Bill. And we got hello Bill, keep your head up. So a nice little app there. We'll then move into creating a counter app, a simple counter app where a user can choose a starting number. So, and you can see we're now prompted with a numerical keyboard here. So we'll say 56. I'll submit that number. I also could pick a random starting number so I can get random numbers. And then we can we can decrease the value or increase the value and get a summary calculation down here. If I want to change the value in which I'm incrementing by, I can also do that as well. Next, we'll create a coin flip app right here, coin flip, which will simulate flipping a coin for us. So we have a nice flip button here. I can get heads. You can see my graphic has changed. Tails, and we're also keeping track of our statistics and representing this kind of with like a bar graph here using status bars. So this is sort of nice. We also have a nice switch here which we can enable simulation mode where we can just flip a set number of coins. So I don't know, let's flip 5,000 coins and we can simulate, and we can see here that we're pretty much close to getting 50% heads and 50% tails. So a nice little project there. Then we'll wrap up our introductory look by creating a diaper tracker in which parents can track when their child has a diaper, what kind of diaper it is. So we can say we've had a dirty diaper at not 270, there's no time, 245. We'll click done and we'll add that diaper, and that diaper is added here. We can add a wet diaper, dry diaper, and as this fills up, what we can see is we have a nice scroll view here so we can scroll through our text as well. Once this is done, we'll then shift to introduce a new way to write applications using binding objects, whether it be through view binding or data binding. We'll implement this knowledge by refactoring our 4 apps that we previously made to use our new binding objects. So you can see the Motivate Me view binding, counter view binding, coin flip data binding, and diaper tracker data binding. While these apps will look the same to a user, under the hood, they're going to be much more efficient. With that knowledge of binding objects, we'll move into having apps that have more than one, I'll say, screen by learning about fragments. With multiple fragments, users will be able to navigate from one fragment to the next while using their app. Each fragment will provide a specific function or utility to the app. To apply this knowledge, we'll then build our scorekeeper app, which will keep track of a score for a basketball game. So let's check this out now. Here we have a title fragment where users can enter in a team name. So I'll say the Knicks, an NBA team, and then another team will do a Bulls. They're another NBA team, and we can click start game. So when I click start game, we're going to move or navigate to another fragment of our application. And there we have it. So now we're sort of brought to this game fragment. Some information was passed. I can select which quarter, and we're sort of keeping track of the score and the shooting percentages for each team. If I change the quarter, the total score continues to change, but only the given quarter score here changes. And then when the game is all finished, I can end the game to navigate to a new fragment in which we get a summary result here. So a really nice implementation of the concepts that we're going to learn with fragments and navigation. Lastly, we'll learn about a design pattern for applications that separate all data storage and data processing away from user interactions and other UI elements. This is the desired way to design applications, and it involves the concepts of view models and live data. We'll learn how to create live data that can be observed from other files within our app, such that any time a change is made to the live data, the user interface automatically responds. We'll end the course by building a culminating app, our click game right here, which will use all of the knowledge taught during the course. So let's check this out now. So a nice game here where we can click play, and we have a button that moves across the screen as I'm clicking it. If I miss the button, I lose a point. And as this is going through, let's see. All right. We can also do a screen rotation. And when we do our screen rotation, we see that all of our data currently persists, our score, our timer that is running down. So quite a fun game. And this is a really great kind of culminating activity. When the timer runs out, we're brought to a new fragment. I can rotate my screen once again. We can gamble some of our points. Oh, I lost points. And then, of course, we can play again or return to our title screen. Now, I'm sure there's other introductory courses out there that will try to teach you more, but I would imagine that the depth of that knowledge in those courses is shallow. My goal for this course was not to expose you to every single concept or idea in Android development, but rather provide you with the structure and context to feel like you fully understand the fundamentals presented to you in this course. Anyone can follow a guide and retype what someone else has already written. But by taking this course, I believe you will have the confidence, knowledge base, and ownership of knowledge such that you won't have to follow someone else's work, but rather create something from your own mind. After all, I believe the highest level of knowledge is creation. I hope to see you in the class soon and to help you get creating. All the best.